I decided to do a business question because it's been a while since I've talked about business. And the question is, how did you become an entrepreneur, and was it difficult starting your own business? So I'm gonna do my makeup and it'll be story time. We'll talk about it. People always ask me, did you ever think that this is what you would be doing? Or did you know you were going to do this for a career or start a makeup company and all of that? And my answer is always no. I didn't know I would be here. I didn't know I'd end up here. I originally, and my whole life, wanted to be an actor. That's what I always thought I would do. And makeup was always something that I enjoyed and liked, but I never ever thought I could make it a career. I think there's a nice life lesson in this, that sometimes the thing that you think you're going to do doesn't always turn out exactly as planned, but the thing that you'd be great at could be something that's just a hobby and not something you're like actively pursuing. While I was trying to be an actor and go on auditions and train, I worked at the makeup counters to pay my bills and make money, and that's where I met Laura. I've told this story a bunch of times, but I feel like it's been a while since I've told it, and maybe there's some people that have never heard this story before. But we met at the counter. She's just so cool, so beautiful. I remember her always making really detailed and very artistic face charts. And we also shared a very similar opinion about makeup. And every time something new would come in, we would, review it or swatch it and think to ourselves like, oh, I wish it looked like this, or oh, why did they add that, or why is this so sheer? So one day over lunch, she told me, I've always wanted to start a makeup line. And I told her I had always thought about starting a lipstick line. Well, we don't have a ton of money. We don't have, anybody that's going to invest in this idea, but we could start small. So we did just that. We decided to make 5 lipsticks. That's all we could afford. The thing that we wanted that we couldn't find was ultra matte lipstick, so a matte texture that was actually a true matte, combined with really bold colors. Laura and I couldn't find it, wanted it, had this idea, this vision for this like perfect lipstick, and so we decided to make it. Part of the question was it hard starting a business? And the answer is yes. Entire year as we formulated and developed lipsticks, we were also working our full-time jobs. And I was basically working 3 jobs. I was auditioning and doing acting things. I was working at the counter, and I was also starting this company. One took Laura and I seriously. We were 25 years old, and we had an idea of starting lipsticks and a unique formula and a unique combination. And also we had a unique idea on how to sell it. Every single person that we spoke to at the lab and manufacturing and production kept asking the same question, which was, who are you selling this to? Which wholesaler are you going to be distributing in? And we said, none. We're just gonna sell it off social media, which in 2012, social media was not the same. Nobody was doing that. The idea of even putting your credit card on to the internet was scary for most people. I would get so many people asking me if it was real, is it safe to give a credit card? It's weird to think about now because that wasn't that long ago and everybody shops this way, but that's not how people shopped then. And I think everybody that we worked with was very concerned for us. But Laura and I we knew this was gonna be the future of shopping. Trust your instincts. You're trying to do something that no one's ever done before. Nobody's gonna be able to give you advice. You just have to find your own way because nobody's ever done it. Even when we launched, it was just Jake and I in my apartment answering every email, packing every single order around the clock. I didn't have enough room in my apartment to pack, so I would open the doors and pack everything outside. Those days were a few hours of sleep and physically very, very, very hard. The post office wouldn't pick up from my apartment, so I'd have to load all the packages into my car and run them to the post office every few hours. It was really chaotic. What'd you say? Am I good?
Yeah.
With what?
With everything?
Yeah. Why? Because I'm just taking a silent moment. Another very hard part about starting a business is you really become very isolated. It has a similar feeling, honestly, to having a newborn baby. You don't go out and party more, you don't see your friends, you're up all night, you're like exhausted. Because of the isolation, it's hard to tell. I would say even now, it's hard to tell what your effort is doing. It's hard to gauge because you're just in a room packing orders, or even now I'm just in an office every day just doing things in my own little bubble. My biggest realization was at the beginning. When Laura and I first started, I didn't quit my job. Even when we launched, I hadn't quit my job because I didn't know what it was going to be. Obviously, we were crazy at launch day, but is this sustainable? Are people just going to buy now and then never come back or care? I don't know. Is this a real business? I'm not sure. I remember going in to the Grove, actually, and I was working for Smashbox. And I walked into the Grove and someone said, "Oh my gosh, you're the Melt girl." And this was my aha moment, my realization of, oh my gosh, people know who I am. Like the internet and real life are the same life. They felt sort of separated to me. But in this moment, I realized people know and recognize me as Melt, and I can't be standing at Smashbox selling somebody else's product. It doesn't feel right. I called Laura and I told her, oh my gosh, somebody just recognized me at the mall. I have to quit. And then I called my boss and I told the manager on the floor, I have to leave. And that was it. So the last time I worked in store, I walked out the door and I never turned back now, which is a totally different world for me as being a mom. Has a whole another level of hard. I have a hard time setting boundaries, especially with work. And I think I've always gotten used to working all the time, 24/7. You really have to switch that off. It's a healthy boundary that I think I would have never set without her. So I'm really grateful and thankful to her, getting me to not focus and dwell on only work, because it's not the most important thing. The mom guilt is also real too. I know all working moms feel this way, especially being a business owner, because you have this conflicting, you have almost like two babies you feel like you have to pay attention to, and when you give attention to one, you feel like you're neglecting the other. Every time I leave and I feel bad, I have to remind myself that it's important that Johnny knows and sees me working and building something, and so that when she's older and I tell her, you can create anything, you can be anything, you can do anything you want to do, it's because I did it. And I'm not just saying it. I wanted to talk about all the challenges because, starting a business, running a business is very hard. Obviously, starting and running a business is not all bad, but this question specifically was about things that were difficult. So I wanted to talk about those challenges. But if you guys want to hear about anything else, yes. This is my new version, kind of, I'm testing something out, of question of the day. I'd love your thoughts. Do you like this? Do you have other questions? Is there something you want to hear me talk about? Let me know. Reach out. I don't know what it is, but I love having a ponytail on when I do makeup videos. I think I've got like a nice fringe bang.
That's your new look.
Okay, I'm done.